7:03. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Neville?
Here.
Mr. Whitaker?
Here.
Mr. Ryder?
Here.
Mr. Leon?
Here. Also present, Solicitor Means, Engineer Mitrovich, Manager Priest, Chief Payne. Audience comments on agenda items.
I have something.
Name.
Jill Ammon, Grand Avenue. I just had some questions about your action item for motion 9 with the sound system improvements, and you have a couple things detailed out here. Could you talk a little bit about that and what you're looking to do?
Basically replace the 1960 sound system that we've had tons of complaints about. This is about the third or fourth time we bid this out. So I believe last year we didn't do it, we budgeted for it. So we're into the action part of it.
What are you going to be including in relation to recording devices? Anything that will be integrated with your website to be broadcast?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Quotes here. Take a look at this. I don't have any answer that quickly for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it.
Sure.
Can I look at it after the meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Nothing for scheduled visitors. Engineers report, MS4 stormwater report.
Thank you. So we completed the outfall screenings from last year. Attachment 8 was the summary of those BMP reviews. So this is just ongoing work with the Township and Public Works. As far as developments, Penske's ongoing. Flex Space, Snyder, 300 Neville Road. They called today, said all work was complete. We went out and did a review. There's 6 items that remain outstanding. So we'll be sending a letter tomorrow on that. Calgon, work's ongoing. DJ Dick, no change. Gardner Warehouse. The executed developer's agreement and bonds were sent to the township. So we're just waiting for pre-construction meeting. The concrete batch plant, they have all the piping in, they have to do some testing. They should be placing that online. Columbia Gas parking lot improvements. I did meet with them this week, and it was on the 9th, and they did advise that they're sending a variance request. And we did receive a copy of that variance request, so they will be in front of the zoning hearing board when that meeting does occur. Number 1, Commons, we got a revised subdivision plan, nothing significant that was reviewed. Neville Island East Terminal, we had a meeting last week with potential developer that wants to put in a storage facility for tanker trucks with wash, storage, and repair. This is down in front of the golf parcel. So they have to address issues like sewage, water, things of that nature, runoff from the site. So this was just a discussion planning meeting. They don't have anything complete at this point, but they're just exploring it to see what's going to cost. North Shore renovations, they submitted a request for bond request for release. We did issue that on the 21st and just requested that they have a professional verify the work that they did compliant. Riverfront Park, the CITF grant, that was denied. So the only other item we have is this other grant. The question is, do you want to keep this on or just get rid of it? But I did do some other alternatives you can do with the grants.
These are exhausted at this point, right?
Well, and if you remember when you got the DCNR commitment, they wanted you to come up with 50% of the money, which was $500,000. So you got them not to go with that amount, and so they would do that grant amount. So the DCNR usually isn't good for a second round, unless we placed in an account or committed to $500,000, not placed into account, but unless we committed to $500,000. If you remember, we were trying to use a combination of all the grants to come up with the local match.
Right.
They just couldn't hit at the same time, so they weren't.
So you take that off the.
Phase 1 consent order agreement, this did lapse in January. They were to have a new one out to the township. So we drafted a letter as requested by Three Rivers, sent a copy to the manager priest. It'll go into EEP in the county, basically extending our corrective action plan, which will allow us to continue to get taps until June or July, and they expect that new corrective action plan to be distributed to all the Elk Stand communities. Easements were recorded for Walnut. Pre-construction meeting was held on the 20th. Contractors proposing to start work next week. So we did review that with Mark. CD year 43, no change. 45, cars parked playground equipment. Final application was submitted, so we're just waiting to hear on that. Neville Road 16th water line. Surveys are ongoing. Salt building, no change. Meter inventory rules and regulations. That's ongoing with the manager. Cutting Park Bridge preservation. Commissioner Mundell and myself went out and looked at, now that they have the concrete sidewalk removed, you actually look at our line all the way across that span. What we found were several hangers that were broken by either corrosion or just age. So I did submit a request to the county and to Mercedes to connect us with who we could work with, and Mercedes have those replaced now. Now's going to be the cheapest time to replace those hangers. If you're ready to do it with the bridging service, you probably have to do it off the river with barges and JRGs and walls to pick the pipe up. So if they're bad, you might as well replace them. And a lot of them look bad. And the area where they're worse was still covered with sidewalks, so they were still demoing it. So once we get a full picture, then we're going to need to look at them. But some of them are actually split in half. The hangers are holding pipe up. It's that bad. The others are broken.
Most of them were like towards the middle or the end of, towards McKee's Rock. So on this side, they weren't bad, but on the other side,
They were bad.
it seemed like there was water dripping down, and then a couple of them were broke. And
It might
like
be-
it says,
Might be wise.
we have it all torn apart now.
You won't worry about it again.
No, we'll,
And there's some expansion joints in that pipe that will expand with the bridge expands. Those have rubber O-rings in there. So if we're going to make the hanger replacements, we might as well fix those so they don't develop a leak. Because again, if they are leaking, it costs you a lot of money to get over the side of that bridge to make any type of repair. You
Yeah.
couldn't do it yourself. You have to sub it out.
Do we have to wait for them, the county, to obtain a quote?
Yes, the goal is, because we have one work area there, we don't want to put a contractor in that work area. Certainly Mercedes is qualified, because they're making structural repairs to that bridge. They can replace these anchor bolts onto this pipe. And I know they're replacing Westview's water line. When they went into this, they just said, we're going to replace our water line supports anyways. But that's under pressure. Our pipes are under pressure, it's gravity flow.
Yeah.
But they're back, so. Water system reporting, that's ongoing, work with Mark, same with item 14. Same with item 15, these are new requirements by DEP. Safeguard commercial holdings, the new request was made, and that was provided. The property owned by the resident, outstanding items related to the service configuration remain. So this is one we have an issue with them cleaning up their water service. Island sports, we talked about this briefly. With the question we have to do throughout the samples. Samples are required to be at the main to demonstrate what the water quality is in the main, not inside the building. Since the line is so big for that building, sometimes the staff has to go down for a half hour to an hour and run all the faucets and all the spigots to get the water to turn over. So we talked to the department, there's no requirement, or no cost, or no permit required. You put a sampling station on your line. So when he goes and opens it, flushes it 2 or 3 minutes, you can grab a sample and close it. And that satisfies your obligation. Because if you were to find low flooring within that building, it would make you correct it, even though it's not your system. That's not the way the samples were read. Elk Stand Grove 4, this is the program we're talking about doing some reimbursements. So we had to do this phase 1 corrective action plan source flow reduction study that was submitted. At this point, they're evaluating the money they have left, and they're going to consider maybe doing some retro projects. These projects weren't eligible initially, but they had some funding available. So we'll keep an eye on it and let you know. We didn't have the water line leak. We did have a leak on Grand Avenue. The men took care of it. They did complete the paving. The county advised they want restoration from the white line to the curb, so they're going to need milled out and paved. What the guy's done is fine. But the county wants a bigger patch than what they made. So we take care of that in the spring. Westview sludge disposal, we haven't heard back from them. We had a pump station inspection on the 29th. We got a couple violations. One was the generator wouldn't start. We've had a problem with that control panel. I believe that's been replaced. The other item is the Drager system, which monitors the sewer gas in that facility. There's a pump bad in one of the sensors. We're still waiting for the pump. And they also asked copies of the permits and the drawings for plans. So we submitted the permits and drawings to them, gave them a status update on the generator, let them know, we'll advise them when parts coming for the Drager unit. So we're in good shape with that. So the county's going to be opening up the 2019 CITF grant program. Eligible projects include transportation, storm sewer, water facilities, recreational areas, and demolition of structures for a $250,000 maximum grant request. So we may want to consider what types of projects you might think are eligible, which everything we have is eligible. And then we could submit that instead of submitting the CITF for a riverfront park. But we don't have to know that. We have until March 1st to submit. Wireless antenna orders review, we've been seeing Chuck's comments, so we really have nothing at this time. 2019 road program. Are we going to get a list, or are we going to work from the list we did last year? How are we going to do that?
I would say we address what we had on our list.
Yeah, I think the list last year would serve as your base, and then we're going to just revisit to see if something's leapfrogged on the list of priority. Make sure that's happening.
We can be somewhat flexible on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it with the police on the budget, because we didn't spend all of it last year. So. And last item I have is one with Mark. Usually we go through annually and just look at the water and sewer lines and determine which ones have been problematic for a minute, which ones need replaced or upgraded. And I'll get that list to you by next meeting. That's all I have on this one. Any questions?
Questions from Ned? Being unsolicited report.
Mr. President, my report was dated January 8th and was sent to the manager, the two reports. In particular, one item is an upcoming variance, I believe is going to be scheduled for the concrete batch plant height. And so I think that Gene is working on the date for that. And then I think that I understand, and I'm open to the direction if I'm to attend and explain to the board this board's position on that. So I intend to do that whenever that's set.
Gina, any idea, like, time-wise, is it this month thing, next month thing?
I would say within 30 to 45 days. I'm still working with the zoning hearing board members to get their availability. As soon as we get a date picked, then we have to post and advertise. It takes a period of time, but it'll be within the next 30 to 45 days of the outside.
And then depending on improvements if you're doing it,
Well, on the height, as Ned had discussed, we wanted to convey to the zoning board that the township did not object and would support that variance for the various reasons that were given by Ned. So typically what we've done is give to the board who's not familiar with it sort of an outline of how we want them to go to make it easier for them to take our positions. And I can do that.
you send it with an opinion, and they can convey that message.
Yeah, I usually give them like a written, either a list of conditions, if that was proper, or a list of reasons why we take the position we take, because they come at it, it's new to them when they see it, and they haven't heard like the benefit of Ned's explanation that we've had. So typically that's what we've done, if you want me to attend, and I expect Ned would be there.
Yeah, we both usually come.
All right, well, let's see, see what the schedule is.
And we're going to have two that night. We'll have Columbia Gas and
Trying to do them two at one night.
All the rest of you guys will authorize and vote to attend. What's your feelings? Yes, Jim?
What's that?
Both attending these two meetings coming up?
Sure.
So it looks like it's in the affirmative, because we're playing on that.
And then the only other thing was, Ed mentioned that the wireless antennas ordinance is proceeding. That will be before the planning commission. I plan to attend and present that to them at the end of this month. I don't have anything else unless there's a question from the board.
Questions?
Just want to, I attached a copy to my report of the contract from CWM. I did provide a copy that Sister Mean and Chuck circled that. I pointed out that CWM at last meeting that you probably rejected.
Well, I did, yeah, that's another item. I did send to Gene today. I looked at the contract today. Maybe it was the revised version I saw today.
This is the latest version.
The latest
They keep-
version.
They keep the November 27th date on every revision they did. This date should have been dated.
Well, look, what I said was, and I don't have anything to say about that company or how they do their work or even what their price is, but the wording that's in it, I had 4 problems with it. One was that, as I read it, the price could be changed by them in more than one way. And I don't think that, well, I object to not having a fixed price. I think if they increase the price, we ought to have a chance to cancel. So that's up to you. If you think that the price is so good that you're willing to accept that they can increase it, then so be it. It just bothers me.
Price and,
I have a problem with that retainer.
yeah.
That's what I have. I know that we need somebody because we only have one certified person.
Yeah.
But hopefully that these other guys will go and get certified in this class. But like Ned was saying, we're gonna need somebody probably within 2 years because it's probably gonna take that long, depending on when the next class is offered.
You need to get at least one more person certified in water and wastewater.
So I'd like to have 2, but you're right, we definitely need one.
At least one, hopefully 2, but, so what we're talking about, Chuck, initially this was a 5-year term.
Right,
So we
went to
said
2.
we wanted a 2-year term. But this automatic renewal.
Well, I don't like that, as I
If you don't
said in
give
my
them
letter.
90 days.
It should be at the end of 2 years, it's over. If we both agree, we'll renew it. It shouldn't be that we're stuck to renew it unless we gave a notice on a certain date. That bothers me. And the other things where they want us to pay their attorney's fees if there's a dispute. Absolutely not would we agree to that. They want us to indemnify them if there's any damages. Absolutely not would we agree to that. So they can take care of those objections easily. We just strike that out, put a black line through those sections. You know?
And there's another one too, Chuck, you indemnity, you said this?
Yeah, that's where they wanted us to indemnify them against liability. We're not their insurance company. I don't think we should be
I
doing
even
that.
asked him when he was here.
He said they carry their own insurance, he
Correct.
said. So he said, we carry our own insurance.
We shouldn't be looking at us.
Well, they had, the
For any
last
reason.
one, for venue and jurisdiction, they had Armstrong County. They changed that, again.
Yeah.
So they have a letter on this.
Now, if your view and Ned's view is that in general, it's a good contract and you need to get it in place right away, then you could have the option to say you'd approve it, provided that my recommendations are met. And then we would take out this stuff. But that's if you feel you need to do something tonight. If you don't, I think it's better to have a proper contract in front of you,
Right, yeah.
which might not be till next month.
Yeah.
You guys okay with this?
Yeah, there was nothing to do with them, and we were all one side.
And we're like halfway through. They've made all the changes so far.
Take that retainer out.
The things that we put in, that I
I wish we
mentioned
could.
too, are not that difficult to work out.
Any questions? Chuck? Official reports, Mr. Brown, Public Works, Water and Sewer.
They prepared a list of water meters with inoperable readings and began the repairs. They completed a JMA oil-filled meter replacement. Also regarding various utility issues, Mark Stewart, I guess went over that with Gene. Meeting with LSSE Friday to prepare a plan to address the DEP and DER rules for monitoring. Prepare a draft for a plan for the testing sites. Review the draft plan submitted to DEP at 10/25/2018. New distribution system, automatic percussion system. The requested DEP regarding use. Coordinate with DEP and WBWA regarding their labor error on the July reporting. Coordination with LSE regarding the lab testing water emergency response plan. Communications with CWM for trial run testing. Transmitter testing, communications, prepare backup operating proposal. Transmittal of information to engineer of 2017 water allocation report. Meeting with LSE, SSE, update water and sewage rules, regulations, and rate studies. Coordinating shut-off notices for Neville galvanizing, failure to respond to shut-off access issue, and water line letters requested. Repair of leak on Grand Avenue near Speedway, water interruption noticed, county HOP leak detection, and sanitary sewers. And meeting with LSSE and Mike Stewart to address the SCADA radio communication errors, ongoing generator issues that we spoken about earlier, Allegheny County inspection response letter, repair to leaking water line and pump station, and emergency SCADA reports. The storm and intercept program, I think we went over that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Rudder, Public Works, Streets and Highways.
Mr. Chairman, with my new position, I was not prepared to give a report, so you can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Rudder. Mr. Mundell, Public Safety, Police, Fire, EMA.
Thank you, Mr. President. This report was submitted by Chief Haney. Of special interest, business alarms were 15, medical emergencies were 21, foot patrol was 117, traffic citations were 150, for a total of 383. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mundell. Mr. Whitaker, Parks and Recreation.
I have nothing to report this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And as far as Finance Administration and Buildings, special interest on the report, fourth quarter 2018 payroll tax filings, year-end liquid fuels accounting and bank transfer, 2017 audit, completed new 3-year audit agreement, executed audit documents, preparation of court follow-up, caucus meetings, monthly project financial report, zoning hearing board, planning commission financial reports. The rest appears to be behind. Bills, motion number 1, call for motion to accept the bills due and payable, January 10th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mundell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Treasurer's report, motion number 2, call for motion to accept the treasurer's report for the month of December 2019 as submitted.
Make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mundell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Meeting minutes, motion number 3, call for motion to approve the minutes from the December 6, 2018 caucus meeting and December 13th, 2018 regular meeting.
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mundell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Abstain?
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Nothing under ordinances, resolutions. Motion number 4, resolution 756, Allegheny County Vacant Property Program. Call for motion to approve resolution 756, a resolution approving the acquisition and disposition of vacant property, block and lot number 0273-F-0079-0000-00 in accordance with the Allegheny County Vacant Property Program.
Mr. Chairman, I believe there's some questions about the property owner that haven't been resolved, and I'd like to table that to next month.
I don't know anything about that.
Just came up today.
Okay. We will table motion 4. Motion 5, resolution 757, vertical bridge lease agreement. Call for motion to approve resolution 757, a resolution authorizing and directing the execution of an option and lease agreement between the township and Vertical Bridge Development LLC for the erection of a communications tower on township property.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rendell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Action items, motion 6. Solicitor's reappointment. Call for motion to reappoint the firm of Gary Rutter and Bain as the township solicitor for 2019 per the proposal dated November 30th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rendell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion 7, engineers reappointment. Call for motion to reappoint Lennon Smith Solar Ray Engineering Incorporated as the township consulting engineer for the year 2019 per the proposal dated December 6th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rendell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion number 8, Planning Commission. Call for motion to reappoint Bill Easton to the Neville Township Planning Commission for a 4-year term expiring January 1st, 2023.
Make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rendell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion number 9, meeting room sound system improvements. Call for a motion to approve the replacement of the meeting room audio sound system to include recording devices, microphone, and speakers, and all components and installation, $1,697.09 for the quote dated September 17th, 2018.
Were there no other quotes?
That's what I was wondering. We were looking
The
at.
only other company I found was a company that specialized in churches. I contacted them, they did not get back to me. The company that Commissioner Whitaker provided, I looked up their information. They do, which there was a lot of companies that did home theater systems, but there's not a lot of options for people that do meeting room sound systems. So this was the only company that was responsive with a quote.
What's been, I know we've tried this for the last 2-3 years. Has it always been just Hollywood is like the only one?
I've put in municipal systems in several municipalities, and we also contacted some places that just built new buildings to see who did their systems. This is the only name that comes up, so I don't know if there is anyone else that does this work, but they come, I've used them and recommend them, and I had other municipalities recommend them as well.
I just feel that's a lot of money for microphones and
I was going to vote no, but I wish I would make a motion we table that one also because I know we need a new sound system, but I think that's kind of expensive.
When he came in, the way it's quoted to is all of the components. If you would like me to go back and have him break it down into something less, I'm sure he could do that. He quoted for you the recording system, it'll be digital to replace this, all of the microphones and the ceiling speakers, because you've got so many complaints from people in the back that they can't hear. So it's the entire system, including the wiring and the installation. If you want him to break it down.
You can't, but I mean, they're.
Yeah, if you want him to break it down,
Can you
not
hear back
replace the ceiling
Yes,
speakers.
yes, 100%. We can hear you. We can't hear Ned because he doesn't speak into the microphone.
When you
Right.
speak directly into it, you can hear it clear as day.
You
This
can.
room
Ray
I know one
can
year,
hear.
we had talked about just replacing these with something to clip onto this.
Okay, well, I can have him come back in and break it down just for the microphones, and it's the recording system that's causing the problem.
Yeah.
We can't pick up your voices or the public on the tape clear enough in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have him quote that piece. He quoted speakers and wiring, and his quote includes the installation of the wiring to get those cables off the floor so you don't have a tripping hazard. But he can take some of that out and break it down. He was just telling you what it would cost to do the whole meeting room.
And that's fine, and I know a year or so ago, Walt's son-in-law came in and he at least got us working again, so, you know, it seems to me the microphones are the culprit, and just, if they were pin ons or something like that, so, let's revisit.
Okay, I'll have him come back out and get you a quote with some
Yeah,
separate.
'cause you could go, like you were saying, you could go like a cordless microphone, it's in with no wires, you don't pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the worst case scenario, but I'd like to also see what.
And you should be able to get a ballpark of what those pieces cost, because his line items break down here by item. He's not giving you the total cost, he's telling you what it would be each piece. So I'll have him break that down just into some options for you.
Okay. So that is good.
Just an interesting comment is, you could hear the manager just fine, and she's not even speaking into a microphone. But I know you don't have as many microphones as you do folks up there, so.
I think we, the few we talked about, there were little unidirectional microphones and stuff, so.
Oh, I don't.
Gene does, I'm sorry.
This isn't the only board that uses the room. The zoning hearing board has members on it that have hearing issues, so complaints about microphones and speakers come from other boards as well.
Okay. Under announcements, do you want to bring this up on the website?
Sure. The website was turned on December 28th. There was some conflicts with our domain provider. So as we were testing it, we were finding that some people weren't able to log on to it. Our IT vendor worked with the company that owns our domain name. They got that resolved as of yesterday. So now you can find our website live. You may not find it if you do a search on the website, because until the search engines populate, but if you type the address in, it will come up live. So it's now available to anyone who wants to use it. It's certainly not complete. We budgeted for additional projects that will add content to the website, and certainly we add content as we edit and go on. But the basic information is on there for residents.
Is the bill paying up and active?
Yes, yes, you can pay your utility. That's one of the features on the homepage, is the link to do your utility bill pay.
And
Gene, I think the website looks pretty good, I was on it today, checking it out.
Thank you. I'll pass
can
that
you
on
just
to
read the
design.
address off and we'll just.
Yes,
we'll
it
hear that?
is www.Neville Township, and the word is spelled out, .us, which is the same, it's the same address that we had before, and it's the same as our email
So they
address.
were basically blocking us.
Yeah, we've had, well, if you recall when we started the website project, one of the initial delays was we could not access anything at that domain name. That domain name was purchased years ago by the township. We didn't have passwords, and we needed to verify the credit card that was used. Well, we canceled all the credit cards for the people who worked here at the time. On the positive side of that, their security is very, very tight. So not anyone's going to be able to go in there and make changes. The downside is that when you had that much turnover, you lost some of that information. So we had problems on the front end. When we were all ready to go and everything was loaded, we had security issues on the back end. But between the web designer, our IT vendor, and myself, we made multiple calls, and it took us an extra 10 days, but we got it straightened out. So.
Anything else, old business, new business, you guys?
Well, the old business, I keep, just the problems, the roads are, they're terrible, terrible.
So, Ned, so armed with that base report that you have, which could not be changed, you're obviously going to have to do a quick little flyby of all those and just see.
Yes.
That's something, I mean, I don't know what, I know the weather calls for it to be in the 30s for the next 10 days, or I don't know. if-
No, as long as it's not snow, we can take a look at it, and that's it.
I mean, might as well, I mean,
I
we're-
can budget from the manager, and I can present you the list of work. We better get them out sooner than later.
Well, I don't know when no one's getting hurt, you know.
Again.
So we do that sooner rather than later, and it's
Absolutely.
be geared up, maybe by the time the plants are back or whatever. And,
I mean, my suggestion to you would be pick the roads for example, no later than the next meeting, and we start preparing the documents, so you have bids in hand come
Well, let's set that
April.
as our target.
And then,
Knock 'em
when
out.
the plant's open, they can come down here and get the work done. Then
When
it'll
they
take
open,
in
end of
October.
April, beginning of May, right?
They're open right now.
Yeah, Lindy's running a plant in Zilly all winter, because there's so much work.
Second
It's
Avenue,
not
he's
complete.
only on iffy basis when the weather goes, he opens too.
Yeah, but Zilly's open almost every day if they're big enough run.
So can we make that our target for next meeting, that we develop a
Is that
list?
much work?
We'll discuss at the caucus meeting and have a list for the regular meeting next month.
Yep. Because once they get 4 degrees and louder, then it's on stone, they pay. Why not?
Not for that.
But sooner the better.
Your list is on.
Because last year, a lot of road programs fell behind. They were actually paving in all the communities in December.
One thing that's helping, the roads out, I mean, I don't know how you get there bad, but they're not a lot of salt being thrown down, you know, short to make it worse. And plowing really takes a toll on the road.
But
So
you know,
lose
a lot of
asphalt, it's coming up.
Yeah, a lot of bituminous roads need to.
Right.
Anything else, old business, new business?
One second, Ned, I talked to you about marketing with you on that list.
Yeah.
He has some areas where he needs to talk to you about base repair. The reason that their patching hasn't been successful is they've got, and these are more alleys than streets, but they've got areas where the base is unraveled to the point that patches won't hold. So I'll have him get that list when we go do a survey. But I'm gonna recommend that some of these are base repair. So you need to go
Remember when the
down,
roads behind my alley?
yeah, you need to get down to the foundation. Just putting paving on top isn't gonna hold.
I mean, for example, the alley closest to the sports center, is that becoming the way it is because of the multitude of trucks that they have making deliveries back in there? I mean, is that?
Might be that, and it might be a function of the asphalt age. Once the subgrade starts to break down, then the water starts to get through the cracks. And the water's just gonna continue to heat the road, so if it's alligator, it'll start blowing apart. That's a classic stuff. If you see a road that just has some cracks in it, you can do a mill and overlay, 3-inch off, inch and a half binder, inch and a half top, which will work, because we have fixed curves we have to go to. So when you look at it, you know if the base is blowing out or not. The other thing we need to check with Mark on, if he has a utility or if he has a water line that's giving him problems, it's better to replace that water line before we pave the road, then we get a break. Because what happens is as soon as they roll that road with the roller that night, a couple days later, they will sweep up the overlay.
And then you have to dig it back up.
You just dig it back up.
He has locations, and one of them, I believe, is the alley that you were referencing, where it's a turning radius, an issue on the parking. The vehicles are going off the side, and they're just cutting it from the side and crumbling it. So then it's infiltrating underneath, and that's what's causing more base issues. So Mark does have that list. He's been going over that with me the last few months.
Last chance, nothing else on the old or new business? No? Audience comments, Jill?
Jill Ammon, Grand Avenue. Thank you for getting the website up. I took a look at it. I had a little bit of trouble with Chrome browser, but it worked fine on Internet Explorer, so I'm sure bugs are still being worked out. One suggestion would be, as time permits, if you're able to add just, I noticed that all the information is on the website, but maybe just like a quick important phone number things, like pertaining to the township. You kind of have them, they're definitely on there, they're just kind of buried in some cases. So, especially a lot of people tend to look at things on their phones, so sometimes, it just takes a while. I wanted to thank Mr. Whitaker for bringing up about the streets. Those are in very need of repair. I don't know if Viviana is on your list, but Viviana has quite a few potholes down closer where my dad's property was.
That had it listed as a 4, so.
Yeah, so there's some pretty long and wide potholes there, so I'd hate to see somebody get hurt.
Maybe, and, it's probably gotten worse since you did that.
Closer to Gibson.
Riverside Plaza,
Size place, but it's just.
there's no base left on
We were gonna
the.
do the whole Riverside, but it was so expensive to do that one, so we did put that on the list of something to keep in mind.
I still think that we could, center that out and do something that we try to, for a cost saver, just to,
Okay, we'll look at it.
yeah.
But now if you have sewer work that goes with it,
Right, yeah.
a portion of water work is towards the roadway,
Hmm.
they have to pay their portion of fixing the pavement. So it's better to do it now than do it later.
What determines at what point sometimes the base is really out, if it's worthwhile for concrete? I mean, is there I know it's more expensive, but is there?
You know, I don't know the basis down here, why
Concrete
they
much
went
more than
concrete.
asphalt nowadays.
You know, they might have went with concrete at the time because it was cheaper, and then they switched to asphalt because it's cheaper. The concrete is expensive. It costs a fortune to take out.
And to make it expensive to put it down, that's the cost.
Plus the curbs.
Yeah.
Asphalt wedge curb costs you $1.50
They're
on a
not well
paver.
either.
Concrete curbs, $40.
Well, like we talk about Riverside Place, like you said back there, the property, the homeowner's probably lower than the road, so like you were saying, if the gate crumbles, you know, as you call on off it, it's crumbling it off.
So you should put a wedge there and you have to backfill behind the road, so the road doesn't mark, so all that stuff adds up. We'll take a look at it.
I'm not taking any of this away from your time. so
No.
go ahead.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to note too, my aunt Virginia Vogler has had conversations with me about the alley beside the sports center.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your son accesses back there when he puts his boat and stuff in storage, but she said that there's garbage trucks that come through regularly, obviously to haul the waste away.
Yeah.
And there's also employees parking back there that are littering too, so I don't know if that's contributing to the detriment of that road, but
And just being at my son's, I've seen a lot of big, like, delivery trucks going down through
Yep.
there, and as they're making their turnaround, they're busting away that turn area.
The turnaround.
And it's like pretty deep. I mean, it's filled with water, you don't realize that's.
That's the one done a run that one day.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, that's, you've got more.
the only other thing I wanted to mention was there had been some chatter recently on our community page surrounding trash pickup not being consistent. I know there's a gentleman in the mansionettes that had made some mention that he was going to put up no parking signs so no one could park next to his vehicle. I don't know that that's exactly legal, that you
No,
can
it's
govern the road.
Yeah.
But I just was gonna, I personally get along very well with the garbage men, Andrew and Hugh. And I was just chatting with them about some of the complications they face down here, so if there's anything I could push out. You might want to get some more information from Waste Management officially, but they said in some cases, because our streets are narrow, it's just difficult to get the truck backed in when cars are parked exactly across from each other. And I know that that's a problem in the Mansionette area, but even if they're staggered a little bit, it provides them enough room to go.
That and in their defense, Waste Management, there was an ongoing rodent problem. And
Yeah.
some of the buildings they will not touch.
The funny thing was, and I don't know if there's truth to this, and perhaps you know, they stated the building owner's name and they said the buildings with the most problems is from the same owner, so I don't know how true that information is, but.
They've all got notices and they had to hire a professional, they had to bait, they had to bring in proof that they baited. I don't know how you progress, are you getting a lot of feedback on that, are they coming in?
It's going slowly. The building owner who property where the trash was not picked up last week, he was notified that Waste Management would not pick up his trash. He had to have it privately hauled, and he did so. It's been removed. So we only had 2 garbage complaints. One of them was valid, and one of them was an error that Waste Management did. In the one that was Waste Management's error, unfortunately, the homeowner didn't call us for 4 to 5 days after the pickup was missed. If a resident notifies us within the day or the next day, we have a route manager. He comes out and schedules the pickup. Or if there's a problem, takes photos and sends us the pictures. So in the case of the Mansionette where they failed to pick up, he sent us photos. We were able to use those photos for enforcement onto that owner, and it immediately resolved the problem. But if we don't get the complaint for 4 to 5 days, you're certainly not going to get the garbage picked up. So they've got to call in so that we can notify Waste Management.
The number is on the website, right? Jim?
They can contact Waste Management directly, but they can call the township's main number, and we take the complaint and email the route manager.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. There was a little bit of confusion as to whether or not it was the residents' responsibility to call Waste Management or we call you folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that same vein with Waste Management, did you get any like final year statistics on like the e-waste, like how that was? I know it was going along really well and people were kind of happy with the system.
We get a copy, it's not a year end, it doesn't follow a calendar year, it was about a month or 2 ago.
Okay.
But it was in your bins, I can get you another copy. They have to report that to the state, so those statistics are part of that state report on how much we recycle.
I know the one time I used it, it was like fantastic. So.
They put a response card in when you do a pickup, and we get those response cards back frequently from them with appreciation for the service on it. So they get good reviews on that e-waste pickup.
I remember one of my cans were busted. Everyone, all
I
my
just bought
plastic
new
cans,
ones.
they slam them down. They don't what they do, they grab the bag out, whatever's, if anything else is in there, they're not dumping, they just grab it.
Do we have the same crew for the whole island, just out of
Yeah,
curiosity?
I believe so,
We do?
yeah.
I don't know, they always treat me
They're
very
good
well.
for me, too.
Very
I
well.
know, I know they're not, I see,
I mean,
I
they throw
got
your
one, I
can.
see the guy, he's not dumping mine, and then I see the guy, I said, you throw your garbage cans home like that? He goes, we got so many, what do you want me to do? I said, I'm not saying,
Yeah.
just set them down, you don't have to throw them, and I see my like, go to the lid, I'm like, come on.
It was very windy yesterday, and when I was
Yeah, mine wouldn't have
walking
been.
the dogs, there were a lot of cans tipped over, and I picked them up as I went, just so they didn't get run over, but.
We need an idea for how to provide, or have the internet owners put in their services. I mean, it's not working. What they have, Waste Management proposal was to park the dumpster like every
Yeah, we went
third
through that.
building. We didn't want any parts of that all over the place. A central location's not gonna work. They want to go to the location that the building has, so, man, we've tried this for decades.
What is the stipulation with Waste Management surrounding walking around cars to get to the cans, like, I know it's a courtesy.
They had a couch that was like wedged between that pen and the building, and they couldn't get to it, and, you know, so there's certain, I mean, I think those guys for the most part will tackle anything.
They don't take a lot of stuff.
If they don't take it, there's usually a reason.
They will remove it unless they feel there's potential for damage
Like they
to a
could hit the
vehicle.
car or something like
If
that.
they think they'll damage the vehicle, they'll send us a photo saying that it wasn't picked up and there's a vehicle. If you contact them, sometimes they will do a late pickup for that. It depends on the time and the circumstance.
So I'm open to ideas.
I just wonder, you know, if it's just vehicles get bigger as time goes on or something like that. I mean, but obviously we have had on-street parking since the dawn of time here, you know? I mean, so it's not
If
like
you
all of a
think back
sudden,
to the original configuration of the 4 little in-ground cans with the people with their brown paper bags.
Oh, yeah,
for all the
at the
years.
mansions.
Yeah, they took them
Now
out.
you got 4 apartments,
Six-
and they could have 2
six
cars
little
each.
cans.
Eight cars per building. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
it's like
More
a
cars
perfect
per-
storm.
Someone disposed of a refrigerator over the past weekend and didn't even take the doors off, which I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So I think the police took care of that though, so, okay, thank you again, appreciate it.
Thank you, Colleen, good drink. Anybody else?
Mary Ann Mosky, Grand Avenue. I'm going to piggyback on what Ms. Ammon said there. Now, this is hearsay, but my understanding is my brother owns building Mansionette 1. He was told by one of his tenants that now they can only take so many bags per building. That's hearsay.
That's-
So, you know, again, I'm
That's not-
just putting it out
Yeah,
there.
that's not true, that's
I'm
not.
just putting it out there.
We had residents call and complain to us about that they were told that they could only put out a limited number of bags. That's not a waste management. Your contract doesn't call for that, waste management doesn't call for that. That's just improper information disclosure.
Okay, like I said, it was hearsay. And to piggyback on the streets and the alleys, please take a look at No Name Alley, dead end off of Gibson. Ever since it was tarred and chipped, it has really seemed to
Yeah, many
deteriorate.
years ago, yeah.
So that, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
My name's Mark Knopf and I live on 227 Third Street. I just got a quick question about this communication tower. Like, what is the company that is gonna own this communication tower?
Well, it would be Vertical Bridge.
And where are they placing it?
It would be on the township property that's back, I'm gonna say behind the Speedway area, along the riverfront, back in that area, bordering the
So are
river.
we being paid an amount for using the
Oh,
property?
yeah.
Yeah, there would be a lease, well, that's what was approved, and so rental has to be paid under the lease. There's various kinds of rental that we've negotiated to get. We'll get monthly rental, $2,000 a month. We'll get upfront rental lump sum, $25,000. We'll get, if additional antennas are added, we'll get a piece of that rental if they come. And so in those forms, there's rental. There's some, I'll call it compensation that's not rental, and that is if they bring in road or utility, thereby providing and bringing that to our property, we're going to have the benefit of that access without us having to pay to install it. So that's what we get, and they get the right to build their
So
tower.
there's none of our township money that will be.
No, if anybody knows, it's right where the old boat club used to be. It's
Okay.
right there.
Is it
And I
really
guess-
tall?
One last
It's
question.
probably as tall as
Being that this
Speedway's
is
on.
gonna be as tall as it's gonna be, I don't know that much about Wi-Fi, I don't know that much. I've had a lot of, shall we say, problems with, my carrier of my cable and things. I don't understand any of this, but will this in any way cause any problems that you're aware of?
This would have nothing to do with cable. But
Wi-Fi or anything? I guess just that since
I
it's
mean,
in such close relationship to businesses and to houses.
I mean, I can't say that it's gonna help your particular wireless service.
I don't expect it to help it.
I
I just don't think
It's
so.
not gonna hurt.
I don't understand.
Well, I doubt that, because they're gonna have to get FCC approval of their frequencies
Okay.
and demonstrate that they don't interfere
Okay.
with the other people.
that would
The other
fall under other
broadcasters
guidelines.
would all be upset. So
Well, that's
they're-
fine,
yeah.
that's all I need to
Yeah,
know.
this-
We'll fall into the
The
FCC.
origins of this are when they took the towers down at the end of the islands, they knocked out a couple cell.
We had some
There,
problems.
which created a void here. So, and this kind of came out of nowhere with the understanding they could easily go right across the river and not in our town. You know, we haven't got anything for it, so, and I know we haven't signed it yet, and I don't want to jinx this, but this can be the funding source for Riverfront Park. And that's kind of how we're looking at that, and that's what we're hoping, this all gets tidied up and we can start down that path. As you can see here, how we keep getting turned down on it, that's where they want us to put $500,000 up front and stuff, so.
I
That's
think
the-
I'll
the
make,
end game.
I'll make clear too, it's not for sure. They have to do their testing on the site. I imagine they'll want to come in, maybe test the ground,
Of course,
test various things. If it's not suitable, they may not build, but we put it
Just know
in
when
place
the
that it
problems
could
before when they
go
start
forward
taking
though,
over.
under this lease, so.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I will, one last thing, I will compliment you, you held a hard line on negotiations, and I appreciate you going to bat for us, because, it's definitely something we've not been into before, you really helped.
one just book, you're gonna check.
So, my hats off to you.
Could I just ask another clarification on that? Sorry. Maybe I'm missing something, but the Riverfront Park, isn't that the same area where the tower would be going?
The
So
towers only take up a small 1 foot.
okay, so,
It's
but there
not the
still would
whole
be
park.
a.
It wouldn't lease the whole park, it would lease like,
I
I
thought,
think
well, let's
maybe
go.
100
Have a
feet
park
by
under the
100
tower.
feet square.
Okay.
Gets leased, only a portion.
Okay, so it wouldn't interfere then with public space?
No, not at all.
No.
And it's a 40-year stream of income, so I mean, it could be exactly what we're looking for to make that go.
What, could you refresh my memory with what's all involved with what you want to put in that Riverfront part? Is it like
We-
public, like kayak access
we've-
and stuff
we've
like
let
that?
Boat launch,
so many times, yeah.
picnic
A boat launch,
benches.
a public boat launch. Oh, put you out of business.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's
So
why
people
I'm
pick-
about-
have picnics
I put
down
against
there.
it.
What'd you say, Al?
You know, put tables out for picnics.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Both times.
Family come in, you have a little picnic down with your family along the river, you know.
Folks were asking about putting like public access areas in, like at the end of the streets that, like Orchard Street, for instance, where your sister-in-law lives.
Mhm.
You know, like a bench there so someone could sit and look out the rivers. Does the township own that property?
We have some right of ways for an outfall and stuff like that, but there's no outright ownership.
So there isn't any like riverfront areas at the end of streets that's
No,
public?
and we were very
township
limited, and
owned?
had we not received the property we did from NIDA, we didn't even have this property. So, and both times we had the CMU people in to do those opinion polls, whatever, that was always something that was important to the people in the area to access the river. And we've always tried forever to try to
Still trying.
and every year the prices go up incredibly. So this seemed like something came out of nowhere. So,
Okay, thank you.
It's an expensive site.
What isn't today, right?
Anything else?
Got some cleanup in
I have a quick question. I'm Will, I'm from Front River Road. The motion,
Last name.
Will Belsterly.
You need this spelled?
I can spell it now, okay. Quick question about motion 4. I know it came up about the vacant property was going to be potentially, I guess, reclaimed. I don't know if I was able to ask any questions about that, or maybe what was planned to be done with it. I know that's one of the provisions with the Allegheny County clause.
I think he'd be best to speak on He's asking about the property and.
I don't know anything about that piece of property in particular.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything about that particular piece, but we have used the process here before where the county, if we okay it, they can take a vacant piece of property and then sell it to someone that wants to buy it and put it to use and get rid of. A lot of times there could be delinquent taxes for 50 years and they can get that off of it so that it can produce taxes again.
Right.
But I don't know any details about this.
And I thought
lot.
your question was about the mechanism, how it's done, and that's why.
Oh, yeah, my question was, like, did the county then approach, I guess, Neville Island to do that, or how?
No, private,
Oh,
private citizen approach,
Okay,
the county and the township.
gotcha.
It's called the Allegheny County Side Yard and Blighted Structure Program.
Right.
It's an Allegheny County program. You fill out an application to the county. If the county, if it meets their requirements, they forward it to the municipality. The municipality has to approve that they accept this into the county program, but the county administers it. So we don't do any of the property search or any of the other documentation. It goes
You're
to
just
the
releasing
county.
it then?
We're just saying that the municipality passes a resolution that they don't object to this property being part of their program. So you can get that information from Allegheny County. It talks to you about the program. There's also additional paperwork that the township submits on code violations and other code actions that have occurred on that property. But it's a private application made to the county. It's not made to us when we don't have any say or control over the property.
Hey, Gene, but doesn't that program, doesn't it, somebody have to border that property?
No.
Or can they be across the street?
You have to border it, or you can, if you're not bordering it, if it's a structure that you're trying to rehabilitate
Or tear it down?
you can rehabilitate that, or you can be a religious entity, government entity, things like that. They can do it without bordering it. Okay.
You know more than me.
I just asked if you guys do anything I didn't. But okay. Thank you.
That's it?
That's cool.
What you're asking for?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss the legal issue.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting is adjourned at